Hey guys, so last time we got together, we talked about fiction and nonfiction, and today we're going to review that really quick, and then we're going to move into reading a book that is nonfiction. So you guys remember Leo, he is going to be here to help us learn the difference between fiction and nonfiction. So let's just review, what does fiction mean? Fiction means that the text has been made up by an author and it's not true. So remember, Miss Womack has told y'all, fiction means fake. It's a made up story. It's not true. Nonfiction, which is what we're going to read today, means that the text is going to teach you and inform you about something and explain real things. So nonfiction are true facts. So let's just review really quickly the ways to spot a fictional story. Remember, fiction is fake. So there are a few different ways to tell. So sometimes you can just look at the cover of a book and decide. So let's look at Leo's library books. So the first one, he's got the 3 Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf. So if I just read the story, the title, you could think that maybe this story's real. But then you look at the picture and those pigs have clothes on and they're standing on their back legs, and that doesn't happen in real life. So you know this story must be fiction. It must be fake. And then his next one, the orange one, the Frog Prince, that's what we read last time. We know right away that this story is fiction. It's a made up story because frogs can't be princes. And the frog on the cover is trying to kiss the princess. We know that that wouldn't ever happen. So that one's fiction too. And so this last book is called A Book About Frogs. The title makes you think that it's probably going to teach you about frogs. And there's a picture of a real frog on the front. So this book is probably nonfiction. That means it's probably meant to teach you something and it's true facts. So here's our nonfiction book about frogs. So these are the first 2 pages of the book. So the left page over here, it tells us what we will be reading about. We know we will be reading a book about frogs. And the right page over here shows us a table of contents. So this tells us where we can find certain information. So you can just kind of pick a topic about frogs that you wanted to read about and go to the right page number. So if you just wanted to read about diet, like you just wanted to read what frogs eat every day, then you can go over here and it says that information is on page 10. If you wanted to read about their habitat, where they live, then you can go over here and find that that information is on page 7. So a table of contents is usually in nonfiction books, and it will help you find what you're looking for. So it says, I want to learn about the habitat of frogs. So habitat of frogs, that's the page 7. So here we are on pages 7 and 8 in our book. So it's important to know that nonfiction books provide true facts. So this book is providing true facts all about frogs. So on the left page over here, let's learn about how long frogs have existed and where they live. So it says frogs are amphibians that have existed on Earth for hundreds of millions of years. They are found all over the world, but the largest variety of frog species can be found in tropical rainforests. And then on the right page over here, they are teaching us about how frogs are amphibians, which means that they live on land and in the water. So here's another page. In this page on the left, it shows us the anatomy or body parts of a frog. So you guys have worked on this before when we did informational writing. You guys did diagrams where you labeled different parts of either animals you were studying or people you were studying. So this shows the frog. It says these are his hind legs. This is his front leg and his eyes. And then this is his eye, and it labels the different parts of the frog's eye. So this is a characteristic of nonfiction books. They are called text features. So it's something that helps you understand what you're reading. So they give you a picture to help you understand the information that you're reading. So these diagrams have labels. You guys know that you usually label your pictures. So usually in a nonfiction book, you can find a label like this. All right, so on this page, on the left page, there's a table that describes types of amphibians, and they also have a graph to show us what frogs are going extinct, which means that they're not living anymore. And so tables and graphs are important because they give us numbers, and that just shows that the information we're getting is real information. Remember, it's not a made-up story. They're telling us real, true facts. So usually authors who write these books, they have to research this. Just like you guys, when y'all wrote your informational books, you had to do some research on Pebble Go to really find out what you were writing about. And the authors of these books do the same thing. So on the right page, this is a timeline of the frog life cycle. So remember, a timeline starts at one point in a person or animal's life and tells you when certain things happen. So it says that day 1, the frog spawn is laid. Day 6 through 10, tadpoles hatch. Week 4, the tadpoles start to form gills, and it goes all the way up until they are completely grown-up adult frogs. All right, so last time we talked about the features of fiction text. Remember, we read The Frog Prince and we knew it was a made-up story. It wasn't true. It had story elements like a setting where they were in the castle. It had characters, there was a problem, and then they solved the problem by the end of the story. Now, nonfiction, we know, is researched by the author. So think back to all that research you've done on Pebble Go. Authors of nonfiction books have to do research, and they tell us true facts. And they have some text features. So they might show us some data on graphs, like you guys saw those graphs. They help us to understand what we're reading. So sometimes they might have like that diagram we saw where they label the different parts of the animal. And you can read the text in any order. So I want you to think back to that table of contents at the beginning, and you can skip to any page you want to learn about what you're interested in. With a made-up story, you really can't do that, because if you just started in the middle of the story, you would be kind of confused. So nonfiction text you can read in any order you want. And the author is writing the text to teach you something. So remember, fiction or stories are meant to entertain you or to be fun to read, and nonfiction is meant to teach you something. So what do these two have in common? In our Venn diagram in the middle, we're going to write what they have in common. Well, they're both books. They're both written by an author. They both have a title. And they both have pictures. And they both help you become a better reader. So as a reader, you need to make sure you're reading books about true facts and made up stories, because both of them help you to be a good reader. All right, guys, that is it. Great job.